Welcome back to the Brew Crew Podcast, everyone. This is day 5 for the BCP BH Advent Calendar. Today we got Alesmith Brewing Company Party Tricks IPA. This is out of San Diego. Alesmith, love San Diego, great place. This is a West Coast style IPA. I'm sure Matt gave this one a 6 out of 5. But yeah, solo episode today. No big deal. Phil's getting his haircut apparently, and I'll go ahead and take this on myself. 6.8% Alesmith West Coast IPA. West Coast tend to be a little bit danker, a little bit more hoppy, I guess you will. 3, 2, 1. There's the crack. There it is. Woo, it's got a little foam. I guess we're tasting this one early. Shook up. That's weird. I handled this beer with such care. This beer with care, or this beer with care. Yeah, so that's not bad. So there we go. I tasted the foam. Go ahead and pour some of this in a glass here. Show you what that looks like. There it is. Ooh, look at that nice little. It almost looks like a funnel down there. That's kind of nice. That's cool. Nice light color, typical IPA color. I know Phil had said yesterday he kind of gave that amber beer like a classification of kind of being like the IPA color, but I mean this is a little bit more of what you see. Obviously not in a hazy. A hazy would be hazier. The amber yesterday did have 3 types of hops, so it is a pale ale. Just has a little bit of those brown malts and stuff. This one, none of that. All pale yellow. So your West Coast IPAs, typically going to be danker. Well, I don't know if maybe I'm having a problem tasting all these beers, but so far I've widely disagreed with the descriptions of all these beers. I'm sure that the West Coast has like a brewing style. We don't have Phil here to tell us what's different about their brewing style, but this does not taste like a West Coast IPA, I have to say. It seems like they've gone about 3.5K. 3,000 miles to the east and went to New England because this beer tastes it's about as not West Coast as you can be, I'd say. So how they describe this beer: pull up to the party with a beer that hides nothing up its sleeves. A massive amount of Strata, El Dorado, and Citra hops have been invited to this brew party to showcase notes of grapefruit, strawberry, and passion fruit. Flex on friends and family by dipping into a pack of party tricks. Keg stands optional. Now, if any of you have done, trampolining in your 30s, you'll know that going upside down is different as you age. Much easier when you're in your 20s. Now they do put some interesting things on here. Do love the can art. They got glassware. You should use a what does that say? A Becher. This is a pint glass. I see what they're saying here. They're saying to use different pint glass. This is more of like a Pilsner, I guess, glass. I should have used the other one. Dang it. 45 to 50. Well, it's too cold, so maybe that's why I gotta stop making these beers so cold. I keep my fridge at like 34, 35, somewhere in there. Just above freezing. It says that this pairs well with spicy nachos. I could see that. Mexican food, spicy nachos. Origin is San Diego, obviously. So there you go, Alesmith Brewing Company. Not much to be said that hasn't already been said in the many episodes. If you're joining us for the first time for this Advent calendar, if you come across our channel rather randomly or newly, welcome. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you listening. This is here in Dayton, Ohio. We do this Advent calendar put on by the Barrel House, and we have different beers every day for 24 days. It's amazing. So that's that. Yeah, this is I'm trying to get this beer warm, so I'm stalling. Not warm, but 45 degrees. We have the 14th of December, which will be the 14th day of the Advent calendar. Guess what? We're gonna have our extravaganza. We're gonna have everyone here in the carriage house. We're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna try to bring food, but I want to make sure that there's no chewing on the mic. Chewing on the mic is awful. It's terrible. Hate it. So we'll do that. I really don't think you warm this beer up to a West Coast IPA, if I'm being honest with you. I like IPAs cold. I don't know, 50 degrees? That's crazy. What are we talking about? We're talking about drinking coffee or something? I mean, this beer is very not hoppy. I can see where maybe some of that, like, it seems like there's like hop oils that are kind of staying around on the palate. They're in there. It's got that dankness to it. Honestly, the bitterness that's being driven by this beer, what I believe to be more kind of like an oil type of like lingering, it's not great. We know what hops taste like. We know what good hops taste like, and we know what West Coast IPAs can deliver when they're on their A game. I think this beer is actually pretty good. For the beer is itself. Now, the palate, what's left on your palate, the breath, the aftertaste, it's quite different than what I'd expect from an IPA. What I get on the palate is more of a, how can I describe it? I know that everyone's waiting for me to name a chemical, but I just don't have it. Our household chemical. This is more, what is this on the palate? What's being left there? I'm going to pinpoint it. But I could see where they get the notes of grapefruit. The berry, I think, the strawberry, I think they said in the can. Now, I like to pinpoint the flavors myself. But I like to see where they're going with this after I've taken a couple sips, which I did. I took sips before I knew about the tasting notes. Strawberry. Maybe in the nose. Not really. Where would they get strawberry from? Sometimes I think they're stretching. So I don't personally take from this beer that it's a West Coast IPA. I also think that it has a easy to drink flavor, more so than even your standard IPAs, which does move me as far east as you can get. This seems like a New England IPA without, no haze, without the haze. It's very clear. I mean, it's a little hazy. It's not totally transparent. There's some opaqueness to this. I'm really struggling on this beer. Really struggling. Not to drink it. It's a good beer. What is on the palate? I guess I could see where someone may interpret the flavor as, not the flavor, but notes of strawberry. It's a stretch for sure. It's definitely a stretch. I wouldn't say that. Sometimes when they do this, I just don't know. I'm not a, what do they call it? Not the sommelier, but the other one. Maybe it is sommelier. Whatever the beer one is. I'm not that. I'm not certified. But I know, you know what they say. You know what they said about porn. You know it when you see it. I know strawberries when I see them. I know when I taste them. I know some of these notes that they describe. I could easily see grapefruit in almost every IPA. I could see a lot of citrus. I could see some orange. I could see some rind. Strawberry, you're stretching it. You're stretching it. I just don't know about that. Maybe the green leaves on top of the strawberry. What flavors does this beer have? Well, honestly, there's a lot of space in this beer. And what I mean by that is I can taste that there's liquid. And on the aftertaste, I could taste that there's hops and some bitterness, maybe an oily bitterness, maybe the hops. What would be interesting is to find out if they squeeze the hops. That might sound crazy, but I think I think how you get that lasting flavor on your palate is by extracting some sort of coating quality about the flavors. You can't just have something linger. It has to catch something onto your tongue. And I think that, this beer's not thick, it's not viscous, it's not oily, it's just liquid. But maybe there's something hidden deep down in this beer that is kind of like residue. And I would be interested to know if they squeeze the hops. Because they say there's a massive amount of hops, but I don't actually agree that there's a massive amount of hops. I think that there's probably a normal amount of hops, but they squeezed them. That would be interesting. I wonder if that's possible to verify that. Anyway, squeezed hops. This beer is very good. Is it top tier? No. Is it bottom tier? Hell no. It's not even mid tier. It's above average. It's a very good beer. Executed well. Is it a West Coast IPA? No. No, it is not. Got something stuck on my teeth. Think I got it? Man, this beer's tough. I really want to identify flavors. Let's just do it. I can't. Strawberry. Just kidding. I'm going to go with tap water. Gosh, am I losing my sense of taste or something? Or are these beers just all super weak? I haven't watched anyone else's, but now I'm going to, and I want to know what everyone else says. I think this beer has a very muted flavor. Gosh. It's crazy. If you drew a spectrum and you had West Coast on one side and water on the other side, I wonder how much closer to water this beer would be than a West Coast IPA. But having said that, it's a good beer. It's a good beer. And that's, I don't want to be knocked off my feet by hops. I like this style of just subtle, it's a calmness about an IPA. Whereas a West Coast really, really scares you. It's chaotic. It's like, it's in your face. This beer is like, come have a seat. Drink this. Melon? I could see melon in this beer. Generic melon. Like when Gatorade says melon, or like Powerade says melon. They don't know what melon. Just melon. I could see that. This has notes of grapefruit, hops, and melon. I give this beer, man, this beer is like so personalityless. 3.0. Thank you for watching this episode. I'm flabbergasted. Day 5 over. Day 6 coming up tomorrow. See ya.